Okay. You ready, sweet cheeks? Oh my gato, you have no water now? I mean, when I say no water, there's this much in the bowl. Come on, sweet girl. That's a sweet thing. You can play with him if you want. Play is okay right now. No, no play? All right, she don't want to play. Get any place. I gotta quit helping so much. Good boy. All right, you ready, girl? Let's just take you on the 30. Well, it gets wet and nasty. That's too far away. You ready? Here, sweet thing. It's my sweet girls. My sweet girl visitor. My sweet girl visitor. We're starting to do better with the rules, with the changing rules now. So let's pause this. I thought maybe she's going to be playful. All right. So, let's see. What was I say? Oh, like the consistent rules and earning freedom. Right. So she first got here, I was able to give her that whole dining area. That was like 3 days before the puppy came. So I had to give the puppy the next spot over. So her space got a little smaller, so she started hanging out in her crate more. So I was thinking maybe it was because of working was putting too much pressure on her. That's why yesterday I didn't really want to work. I just wanted to play with her. But then I thought about it later, because you always got to think about what's changed, what made her kind of go backwards, and it could be a combination of things, right? Maybe trying to push the working and luring is adding a lot of pressure. She needs more time to relax. So a day off of just play and walking, right? So just walking is good. It's good bonding, right? If that's what they're going to give us. But breaking through with play is usually brings them up real good, right? So playing with them is a lot more natural than trying to do obedience work, and they can get confidence through both things, right? But I was thinking maybe to change the rules, so like say she goes home, like in the foster that she was at, and it's going back to, I think she said she's just being a temp foster, but she doesn't have to leave if she doesn't have to, but I don't know. I think she mostly does short-term fostering. I don't know how we can't get this girl. She's laid back. Laid back, pretty sure. She does get kind of mouthy in place. She did that again yesterday, right? So yesterday afternoon, when I took her out on the long line for a free walk, she got playful, was running around, would run up, kind of start to mouth again, right? Which, that's what they'll do. If that's what they're used to, they're going to do it. You just have to consistently correct, prevent, manage, right? So when I see her running up, what I've been able to do is stick my hand down there so she'll come to my hand instead of trying to mouth on the leg. Now that's kind of annoying. Did she do it? What? Did she go for my leg once yesterday, girl? I think she was, but I put my hand down there and she went to my hand instead. So anyways, I was thinking maybe to change the space, right? Because she's been staying in the crate. Oh, now it's going to start raining again. Sprinkles. She's been staying in the crate for 2 days now since the puppy's been here. I'm going to get wet. It's super light sprinkles though, so whatever. Right, so anyways, going home, I would, like any dog, crate for at least the first few days. Then allow it to be open depending on what you're gonna do, right? She does good. I mean, I haven't closed it since she's been here. And at the foster, she hasn't needed it closed either. But she is behind an X pen, so. My plan, today's supposed to be a washout, so I might see how she does in the living room, hanging out. It wasn't my plan to do that because she's short term. So I think once you start giving more freedoms, it's hard to take them away. So I never, with visitors, I never give like all 7 days some time in there, but I'll give them, I start trying to give them 2-3 days out, you know. Even if they have a whole room, like Gabby has her whole little area. Oh my gosh, now it's starting to come down a little bit better. Better or more? And we got caught in the rain yesterday when it actually came down a little harder, and she did not like it. She did not like it, did she? Right now it's just light. So anyways, that's my thoughts on maybe the change of rules is what set us back more than the work. More than trying to work, or a combo of both, right? All of a sudden, I'm trying to get a little more work in, and that's putting more pressure on her every time you're sticking your hand in their face, right? You saw in the hallway, she's just pretty good going for giving affection. She's not freaked out by it. The first day, maybe 2, she seemed a little more worried about the hand movements, whereas now it's any kind of reaction to hand movement is a lot softer and not as often, right? Like at first, which is understandable. She's trying to get to know a new person, right? So the hand movements and even fast movements were like even like walking away kind of fast. She'd be kind of hunker down a little bit. So now she's like, it's not that big a deal. She might go back a touch, but she doesn't do the whole whoop. Right? That's somebody's soccer goal right there, buddy. That's right in a dog's eye spot. Get it. Get that stick. See? Like, even though I threw the stick that way, you saw she went down a little bit. Look. Not as interesting. Huh? Not as interesting as when it was sticking out. Anyways, oh good. The sprinkles stopped again. So, I don't think it's supposed to be that bad for a few hours. Then it's supposed to get ugly, I think. Anyways, that's her. You know, and then it gets into, when they're kind of weird about that stuff, it gets into how important it is doing obedient stuff, right? To me, really, the only thing, she really pretty much stays right with you anyways. So, like, even when she was scared of, when I would do some kind of hand movement initially, and she's kind of weirded out about it, she still would always come semi-close. Now she always does this, right? So after a few days, she's learned, okay, nothing's happening. No big deal. We all got our things, huh, girl? That we got to get over. Right? And let's see. And this other stuff that's already been said and other things is stuff like, you know, being hand shy, you know, is pretty natural, or head shy, right? When your hand's going to their head, it's pretty natural. That's not a good movement towards the dog until they know you, right? Even when they know you, sometimes they don't like that. So it's just a natural thing. So it's not necessarily that somebody was hitting her. But I did have a thought that there's a possibility when she was young and did something, you know, bad, a puppy thing, that they were like, hey, knock it off. So I don't think if they did like punishments with the hand, right, to the face, I think with her, if that was the case, I don't think it was like I'll haul back and slap the crap out of her kind of thing. But if it was at a certain, it was during the fear periods, or if she just naturally, like genetically, is softer and more sensitive to that kind of stuff, even just a little soft tap could have been a lot for her, you know what I mean? So I don't think necessarily the reason she was more head shy and weird about movements is because of beating, right? But it could have been because of a punishment during the fear periods, right? When they're young. She didn't take it as well as others might have. All that kind of stuff comes into play. If you don't know everything, you don't know everything. Just have to adjust how they show you. The phrase they're using nowadays is consent. What the dog gives you consent to do. It's just reading the dog, seeing what weirds them out. Don't overdo it. Try to work on making it not a big deal. It doesn't have to be a positive thing, but it needs to be a no big deal thing. And hey, if you can't get them to play with you that much, get them to play with you some. It breaks through, it's more natural, right? And even just walking and being out. You can shovel food down their face if you want. But this right here is just a natural hangout, right? Right, so remember in the hallway? Let's see. Good girl. So what I noticed, the reason I want to do that is the last couple of days, even like here, when I would go to do something like that outside, she would back up just a little bit. Not like initially, but she would back up a little bit, right? So in the hallway she didn't, and then right now she didn't either. So that's better, right? So with the change of rules, got a new dog in, she got a little bit less space. I mean, she never went in that space anyways. She always stayed on the bed. So I was like, oh, she won't care about losing that space. But apparently she did. Oh, the other kind of inconsistent rule maybe that was weirded her out is I let her and Tank play a little, and then I don't. And I let them play a little, because I try not to do too much inside play, but I knew I wasn't going to group her, so I wanted to go ahead and let her have some dog play, you know what I mean? Like in short stays like this, I usually don't group them. But I wanted to let her get a little bit, so a little bit of inside play. So yeah, these are good girls. These are good girls. Right, so there's backed away just a little bit. See, that's the kind of pushy thing. All right. That wasn't bad. She just stick her face there. But that's kind of a pushy. Just ignore it, dude. Ignore that. Let it be. But if she's trying to be mouthy, then, I mean, all I did was right? She's pretty sensitive to that. Oh, girl. All right, whatever. We talked too long. Babble, babble, babble.